Says we won. You won. I shouldn't say we up here. Non-partial. Okay, they'll wait to cue the radio and then we'll start, so we'll have a little delay here. While we're waiting to cue the radio, I'll remind everyone that came in to please mute your cell phones so we don't have any distractions. And we're good to go. Pleased to be joined now by members of the West Texas A&M University Lady Buff basketball program. In the center of our podium is head coach Kristen Mattio. On the far side, coach's right, is Madison Parker. Madison is a junior forward from Canyon, Texas. On the near side, Sydney Walton. Sydney is a junior guard from Perryton, Texas. Coach, first, your initial thoughts on a game that I'm sure you'd like to just put the first half in the trash bin, because it seems like they came out with a completely different mindset in the second half.
From the offensive end, we would like to do that. You know, TW, they're a well-prepared team. They're scrappy and feisty, and they defend really well. We held them to 25 points at the half, which is pretty good from the defensive end. From our side, all the adjustments came from one end, and that was really the offensive end. I thought, we weren't patient from the offensive end. We talk about shot selection all the time. Our shot selection was not really good. So we cleaned that up and really started executing and focusing on what we do and where we needed to get that basketball. And once we did that, we got great looks. And you can tell by the shooting percentage that doesn't normally lie, because you're taking high percentage shots. And that was a big adjustment that we focused on. Was finally able to get that lead and then sustain it. And then we got to work from the defensive end. Talk
about the play of, I'll just term them your bigs, Lily, Madison Parker, and Maddie Wild, especially in the third quarter.
They were phenomenal tonight. We relied on them, and they were having to score over 2 or 3 people sometimes, just because, again, TW is scrappy and they're in there digging on the ball. But I thought that second half, really Maddie Wild, she got those few offensive rebounds that really were just ignited us and really created that separation early. But Madison Parker and Lily, they all contributed from that side, because the guards, if you just look from the point total, we didn't get a lot from them tonight, but that's okay. We had other people step up around, and it just happened to be our post play.
Madison, we'll start with you. Just give your comments on the game and your play in particular, specifically the third and fourth quarter. You came in and kind of stabilized things when we were needing a spark.
Yeah, I think we just kind of settled down a little bit. That's kind of what we were talking about in the locker room, was everybody just take a deep breath, everybody relax, and then just start executing. Our defense was good, just kind of because we were revved up, but then the offensive end, we just needed to, start running our stuff. We were kind of looking for we were trying to get certain looks, and then kind of in the second half, we were making the great passes. We weren't fumbling the ball. We were just doing the little things that helped us get, the big basket or the big three or whatever it needed to be. So.
And Sydney, she mentions the big three. You finished with 13 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. You only had 1 3-pointer, but it came at a critical time when the Lady Buffs were looking to make a bump.
Yes, sir. I really wasn't looking to shoot the 3, actually, but then I saw the girl was kind of standing off of me, and so I just decided to take it. But like Parker said, we were really sped up, and we weren't really attacking the paint. So in the second half, I really told myself coming out of the locker that I was going to try and get to the basket and create and try and get my teammates looks.
Questions for the Lady Buffs?
I love that third quarter. You're just down 5 is 9% shooting in the second, but just down 5, you got to love them to turn it on.
Yeah, and we talked about that in the locker room, just being down 5. That was actually pretty good for the way we shot the basketball. Again, I give the credit to the girls. They refocused, and sometimes you do just need a halftime to get yourself realigned with what you need to do. And the biggest thing for us was just stick to our game plan for what we had come up with in prep for this game. We went back to the drawing board, refocused in a few areas, and then got the looks that we wanted. And again, credit to our players, because I thought they just all bought in, understood what we were doing quickly. We made the adjustments, and then we were fine.
The matchup with Angelo State, obviously kind of been a thorn in the side the last couple of years. Talk about the matchup once again in the tournament.
Definitely looking forward to the matchup. Angelo State is a solid team, and we split with them this year in 2 really close games. Definitely a well-coached team as well, and they have the Offensive Player of the Year and Player of the Year, I guess, and Jasmine, Defensive Player of the Year. Yeah. She's probably the Player of the Year in every area. So we're going to have our hands full, and we'll enjoy this win, but the prep starts, I guess, basically probably right after this interview. So we look forward. It's probably going to be another dogfight, and we'll relish that opportunity to go head-to-head with them again.
Madison, you talk about The defense in the second half, especially that third quarter, it seems like you guys just kind of shut it down.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of started taking away the high post a little bit better. They weren't getting it there, so then they couldn't pick us apart from the inside. And then, you know, with Lily, I mean, she's a big presence in the paint, and so she kind of, you know, got big. Everybody kind of just started trying to get in passing lanes. And then when your offense is going, that kind of gives you a little bit more momentum on the defense's end as well. So it just kind of started, puzzle pieces started clicking into place. So
Kind of same question.
Oh yeah, as a guard that plays at the top, our main focus really is to take away the high post, and with Spectre being such a huge part of the game, when we took her away, I kind of felt like they didn't know where to go after Sago fouled out. And so I just feel like everybody just buckled down, and we knew what we had to do to get the win.
You talk about players stepping up, you know, usually we talk about your seniors, today's two juniors. It's like any given day for this team.
And that's what you want, the depth and the balance, and that's what you look for, especially when you get into postseason play, is, I mean, if it takes 10 of us, it's going to take 10. 12, it'll take 12. And that should always be your niche as a team, the depth and the balance that you can rely on your players. You might not know who's going to step up, but somebody will step up and impact the game.
Can you talk a little bit about just the tournament as a whole? You saw Eastern and the top two go down in overtime now, just the postseason, the pressures of it now. You guys were able to turn today's game a little bit. Either one.
I think our conference tournament sometimes is harder than the regional, to be honest, because now you're playing teams 3 times in a row, and then we have several teams that are actually in the region right now. So it's great prep for the NCAA, and our conference does a good job of setting it up that will get us ready for this NCAA tournament, hopefully behind this. But it's, you know, it's just a dogfight. There's no other way to say it, is when you just have played teams continuous over and over and over. It's just what little areas can you find and take advantage of, and I guess that's what we're looking for right now, along with just players. Sometimes just have to be players and make basketball plays.
Pastor, can you talk about the physicality of the game? It seemed like there was a lot of physical play down low, especially.
yeah, I mean, they're a scrappy team. You know, they're looking to get. You know, if you bring the ball down, they're going to tie it up. You know, if you're going to go up in the post, you got to go up strong. And that was kind of, we knew that going into the game, but then actually playing with it, that's a whole different story. So that was kind of one of the things we also kind of talked about at halftime. We got to be strong. We got to be strong. They were kind of getting some deflections on our baseline out of bounds play just because we weren't, you know, being tough with the ball. So, and then the inside game, that's always going to be, I mean, you got to be tough to play in there. So, I think it worked well in our favor. You know, Maddie, Lily, Cece, I mean, all of us kind of stepped up a little bit in the post and got the job done tonight. So.
Any more questions for the Lady Buffs? Ladies, congratulations on a big win. Best of luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you.